You are supposed to go find something to do. Busy Liddy, I need me a booster. Steady, she playing, she know what we do. Got that Glock, boom, little daddy, she thought that clip with the truth. I'm Spizzy, need a cool, Chat, what's going on? It's your boy Bad Boy Cash, BBC Corleone, man. If y'all new to the channel, welcome. We do reactions over here, you feel me? We on to the next reaction, man. This is next Friday, it came out in 2000, you feel me? There's 12 weird facts you didn't know, you feel me? 12 weird facts you didn't know about the movie, man. For a nigga like me, nigga, this shit better be shocking, you heard? Cause I ain't going lie, my nigga. I fuck with all the Friday series, my nigga. Friday, next Friday, and Friday after next. And even if they come out with a last Friday, my nigga, I'm watching that shit, my nigga. And I fucking fuck with First Sunday too. They all fucking sequels, my nigga. But you already know, let's get into the reaction, man. RP Debo, man. That's how we gonna start it off. RP my nigga Debo. Let's get it, man.
In the movies, when you beat up the neighborhood bully, you're supposed to live happily ever after.
The star who made the first movie iconic walked away. Critics were already sharpening their knives. The setting changed, the vibe shifted, and the studio knew they were gambling with lightning in a bottle. On paper, this sequel should have collapsed. Instead, it became the biggest hit in the entire franchise. Behind the jokes and chaos was a movie held together by risky casting, last-minute rewrites, and a rapper learning fast how hard it is to run Hollywood. These are 12 weird facts about Next Friday, the sequel nobody trusted, and audiences
Everybody remember when this nigga fucking fell in that shit. He really put that clip on there. RP my nigga with the spoon, man.
refused to let fail. Number 1. Chris Tucker chose Jackie Chan over Smokey. Remember when Chris Tucker's Smokey was the whole vibe of Friday? The energy, the one-liners, the panic-inducing paranoia every time Big Worm drove by? Yeah, Ice Cube remembers too. So when it came time to make Next Friday, Cube called Tucker and said, "We're doing a sequel." Tucker's response? "Nah, I'm good. I'm doing Rush Hour." And just like that, the guy who made Friday a cultural phenomenon walked away to become Jackie Chan's comedic sidekick. Can't really blame him. Rush Hour turned Tucker into a blockbuster superstar and eventually earned him $20 million for the sequels. But it left Ice Cube with a massive problem. How do you make a Friday movie without the guy who made Friday iconic? The answer became the blueprint for the entire film. Reinvent everything, move locations, introduce new characters, and hope nobody notices the absence. Spoiler alert, people noticed. They just didn't care enough to stop buying tickets.
Man, it's been what, a year since?
Nah, that is true though. That nigga fucking Chris Tucker did leave Friday because Ice Cube wasn't paying enough, bro. I think his first check was lower than $5,000 game when he did Friday. And that shit, y'all see how big that movie was, bro. Y'all see how big that joint is. To get paid less than $5,000 is fucking bananas. I would have went to fucking Rush Hour 2 game.
Last time we kicked it at the family reunion? Yeah, it was about a year, huh? Yeah, man.
Damn. Number 2. Ice Cube replaced Smokey with Day Day after auditioning multiple comedians. Ice Cube wasn't about to hand the role of Craig's new sidekick to just anyone. This wasn't a participation trophy situation. He needed someone who could fill the Smokey-shaped hole in the franchise without trying to be Smokey. So Cube did what any smart producer would do. He auditioned everybody. Comedians lined up. Marlon Wayans came through. Other comics got their shot. And through it all, Cube was watching, testing, making people sweat. He wasn't looking for another stoner philosopher. He needed someone manic, paranoid, and just unhinged enough to make suburban chaos feel authentic. The role of Day Day wasn't about replacing Chris Tucker. It was about creating something completely different. And Cube knew that if he got this casting decision wrong, the whole franchise was cooked. No pressure.
Let me get ready to go to work.
Number 3. Mike Epps was discovered by Ice Cube at a comedy club. Mike Epps wasn't a movie star in 1999. He was grinding, comedy clubs, Def Comedy Jam, paying rent with stand-up sets, and praying for a break that might never come. Then, one night at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, Ice Cube walked in. Epps did his set. Cube laughed. After the show, Cube approached him and said the words that would change Epps' entire life. "You might be Day Day, might be, not you are, not, the role is yours, might." Because even after Cube spotted the talent, Epps still had to prove himself through weeks of auditions, while Cube brought in other comedians to keep him honest. It was a test, and Epps later admitted he was so nervous on set that when they filmed his first scene, nobody laughed. not the crew, not John Witherspoon sitting on a crate watching. Nobody. Epps panicked and told Cube, "Man, they ain't laughing." Cube's response, "It ain't time. I'll let you know when it's time to be funny." That's cold and brilliant. The scene that finally won everyone over? The record store meltdown where Day Day loses his mind over a customer complaining about a CD. Epps went off. The cast cracked up. John Witherspoon nodded approval, and just like that, a 2-decade film career was born. That one Comedy Store set launched everything. Hangover movies, Resident Evil sequels, 3 more collaborations with Ice Cube. All because Cube happened to be in the audience on the right night. Number 4. Critics destroyed the movie, but audiences made it a hit. Let's be real, critics hated Next Friday, and we're not talking polite disappointment. We're talking scorched earth reviews. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 22% critic score. The Boston Globe called it witless and predictable. USA Today said the humor was as fresh as the air left behind whenever John Witherspoon uses a toilet. That's not a review, that's a roast. But here's the thing, critics didn't count on. Nobody making Friday movies was trying to win Oscars. They were making movies for the people who lived Friday every week. The folks who knew a Day, who had an Uncle Elroy, who understood exactly what it felt like to get fired on your day off and have nowhere to go but your cousin's couch. Next Friday opened on a Wednesday, January 12th, 2000, an unusual release date, and made $16.9 million in its opening 4-day weekend. It went on to gross nearly $60 million worldwide, making it the highest grossing Friday movie ever. The franchise that started with a $3.5 million budget just proved sequels could print money without critical approval. Critics can write whatever they want. The box office wrote back, "We good." Number 5. Tommy Debo, Lister, appears shockingly little. Debo is the villain of Next Friday. The entire plot hinges on him. He escapes from prison in the opening scene. He spends the whole movie hunting Craig. The threat of Debo is everywhere, except Debo himself. Tommy Tiny Lister Jr. is on screen for maybe 10 minutes total, and it's genius. Because the movie doesn't need Debo constantly stomping through scenes to make him terrifying. The idea of Debo is scarier than Debo. You're watching Craig navigate suburban chaos, lottery broke relatives, psycho gang members next door, his cousin's baby mama drama, all while knowing Debo's coming. The tension builds, and when Debo finally shows up at the climax, ready to shoot Craig with an AK-47, he immediately gets bitten by a pit bull and arrested. It's anticlimactic and hilarious and perfect. Lister built a whole career playing intimidating tough guys, but Next Friday proved he was just as effective as a looming threat you barely see. Sadly, Lister passed away in 2020, another legend gone. Number 6. The DVD menu uses stills from a scene that isn't on the disc. This is the kind of 2000s DVD chaos that makes you wonder if anyone was actually paying attention. When Next Friday dropped on DVD in June 2000, the menus used production stills from a deleted scene. You know the one. Stanley, the neighbor from the first movie, meeting with a realtor and some woman in Rancho Cucamonga. The stills are right there in the menu. You can see them every time you navigate to play the movie. Check the special features, whatever. But the actual scene, not on the disc. Not in the deleted scenes. Not in the bonus features. Not anywhere. Someone at New Line Cinema apparently said, "Yeah, just use those production stills for the menu design." And nobody asked the obvious follow-up question. Should we, include the scene? It's been 25 years. Fans have been hunting for that footage since DVDs were the future. It's still missing. Somewhere in a New Line vault, there's a reel of film nobody bothered to digitize, and it's driving completists insane.
Uncle Willie.
Hey, how you doing, Day-Day? Where's your big head father?
Number 7. John Witherspoon improvised. Many of his most quoted lines. John Witherspoon's Mr. Jones is the secret MVP of Next Friday. Every scene he's in, he's complaining about something. Dog poop on his uniform, fleas and ticks, bad restaurant service, urgent messages that don't exist. And here's the thing, most of it wasn't in the script. Ice Cube gave Witherspoon the freedom to riff, and Witherspoon, who'd been doing stand-up since the 1970s, just went off. The scene where Mr. Jones yells at Uncle Elroy about the fake phone message, improvised. The bit where Elroy points out the dog poop on Willie's uniform and Willie panics about sitting on the couch, improvised. Witherspoon's delivery was so naturally funny that the crew learned to keep cameras rolling and let him cook. Some of the most quoted lines in the movie came from a 60-year-old comedian who'd been perfecting his grumpy dad routine for decades. Witherspoon passed away in 2019 at age 77, and Ice Cube publicly blamed Warner Bros. For not greenlighting Last Friday while the cast was still alive. We'll never get another Mr. Jones, and that hurts. Number 8. Justin Pierce died just 6 months after the film's release. Justin Pierce played Roach, the white skater kid who works at the record store with Day Day and can't stay on his skateboard to save his life. Pierce wasn't an actor who learned to skate for the role. He was a legitimate skateboarder who'd been discovered by director Larry Clark while skating in Washington Square Park and cast in the controversial 1995 film Kids. He won an Independent Spirit Award for that role. He was 20 years old, and Hollywood was watching. Next Friday was supposed to be his breakthrough into mainstream comedy. The movie premiered in January 2000. 6 months later, July 10th, 2000, Pierce checked into a suite at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas and hanged himself. He was 25 years old. He left 2 suicide notes that were never made public. The news stunned everyone. Ice Cube called him sweet and talented. Director Larry Clark was devastated, but clearly, Pierce was fighting battles nobody saw. It's one of those tragedies that
Yeah, man, I ain't going front. I didn't know that. That's crazy. I ain't going front. RP, man. RP Roach, man. It don't matter how tough life get, man. God got the plan, man.
that hangs over a comedy. Every time Roach appears on screen, there's this weight now, a reminder that fame doesn't fix what's broken inside. Number 9. The film opens with archival footage to write Smokey out. Ice Cube had to solve a narrative problem. How do you explain Chris Tucker's absence without making the audience feel like they got ripped off? The answer was simple and kind of brilliant. The movie opens with archival footage of Smokey from Friday, Chris Tucker hitting his iconic lines, looking exactly like we remember. Then Ice Cube's voiceover kicks in, "Smokey's in rehab." That's it, 3 words, no drama, no replacement actor trying to fill Tucker's shoes, no awkward phone call from Smokey saying he moved to Atlanta, just he's in rehab, moving on. It's the cinematic equivalent of "my girlfriend goes to another school," except it actually worked. The audience got it. Smokey was a functional drug addict in the first movie. Of course he's in rehab. It made sense. And by using actual footage, instead of pretending Smokey never existed, the movie acknowledged what everyone loved about Friday, while making it clear this was a different story. Respect to Ice Cube for not trying to gaslight the audience. Number 10. Ice Cube wrote the entire script alone. The first Friday was a collaboration. Ice Cube and DJ Pooh co-wrote it, bouncing ideas off each other, building the world together. Next Friday, that was all Cube. Solo writing credit, and it shows. Not in a bad way. In it, this is what happens when a rapper turned producer takes complete creative control. Way. Cube wrote every joke, every character arc, every plot twist. He also produced the film, supervised casting, and had final say on everything from the soundtrack to the marketing. It was exhausting, and it was a test. Could Ice Cube carry a franchise on his own? Could he write a sequel that worked without his original co-writer and without Chris Tucker? The answer was yes. Next Friday made nearly $60 million. But Cube also learned something important. Producing is harder than rapping. You can't just write 16 bars and walk away. You have to see it through from script to screen to box office. And if it fails, there's nobody else to blame.
Boy, that woman gonna be the death of me one day, you watch.
Number 11. Next Friday was the first film produced by Cube Vision. This wasn't just another Ice Cube movie. This was the birth of Cube Vision, Ice Cube's production company, and the moment he stopped being just a rapper turned actor and became a Hollywood power player. Cube didn't direct Next Friday. That job went to Steve Carr, a music video director making his feature film debut, but Cube controlled everything else. Script, budget, casting, distribution, marketing. It was a massive risk. If the movie flopped, Cube Vision would be dead before it started. But Next Friday succeeded, and Cube Vision became a machine. Over the next 2 decades, the company produced Barbershop, Are We There Yet?, Ride Along, and a dozen other films that turned Ice Cube into one of the most bankable stars in comedy. Not bad for a production company that launched with a stoner sequel nobody thought would work. Cube proved you didn't need a studio executive's permission to build an empire. You just needed one hit, and Next Friday was it. Number 12. The soundtrack became bigger than the movie. Next Friday, the soundtrack peaked at number 5 on the R&B hip-hop charts
That's crazy.
and number 19 on the Billboard 200. It featured Eminem, Aaliyah, Wu-Tang Clan, Bone Thugs, In Harmony, Snoop Dogg, and Ice Cube.
Bone Thugs
Basically
and
a
Harmony.
greatest hits compilation
Hey.
disguised as a movie
said it
soundtrack.
like it was
The
one
lead
person
single,
in the band
You
in
Can
the
Do
back.
It by Ice Cube, Mac 10, and Ms. Toy, became a club anthem. It sampled Africa Bambaata's Planet Rock and got played at every party,
African Bambaataa.
pep rally, and wedding reception for the next 3 years. People who never saw the movie knew every word. The soundtrack outlived the film's critical reputation and became one of those CDs everyone owned in 2000, whether they'd actually watched Next Friday or not. And here's the wild part. The soundtrack made more cultural impact than the movie itself. Critics trashed the film. Audiences loved it, but the music transcended all of it. 25 years later, You Can Do It still hits at cookouts. The movie became a cult classic. The soundtrack became immortal. Bonus fact, Ice Cube refused to recast Smokey out of loyalty to Chris Tucker. When Chris Tucker walked away, Ice Cube had a choice. He could recast Smokey with another actor and pretend nothing changed, or he could respect Tucker's decision and build something new. Cube chose loyalty. He didn't badmouth Tucker in interviews. He didn't try to
He ain't choose loyalty. He had no fucking choice.
replace him with a knockoff. He acknowledged Smokey's absence, wrote him out cleanly, and moved on. That respect mattered, because years later, when fans started begging for Last Friday, Tucker publicly said he'd consider coming back if the script was right. Cube and Tucker stayed cool. They understood business. And when Last Friday was finally greenlit in 2025, after 2 decades of development hell, that loyalty might just pay off. Because sometimes the best way to bring someone back is to never burn the bridge in the first place. It didn't chase critics. It didn't replace what was missing. It took the hit, made the pivot, and doubled down on chaos, character, and culture. A movie built without its breakout star somehow became the franchise's biggest success, launching careers, soundtracking an era, and turning Ice Cube from rapper-actor into a full-blown Hollywood power player. It's messy, it's loud, it shouldn't work, and that's exactly why it does.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of facts I didn't know, man. And Friday is my favorite movie, man. If y'all like this reaction, if y'all like shit like this for me to react to, y'all let me know in the comments below, man.
You are both gonna find something to do. Busy Liddy, I need me a booster. Study, she playing, she know what we do. Got that Glock, boom, little daddy, she thought that call it with the truth. I was busy, need a cool, huh?